Hello students, it's your online professor here. Today I want to talk about how to write and format an argument paper. Now, writing an argument paper can be an intimidating and difficult task, so let me keep this project fairly simple and straightforward with 7 easy steps to writing a good argument paper. Let me take each one of these 7 steps in turn and then review them briefly at the end. Number 1, the first step to writing a good argument paper is selecting an interesting topic. Find a topic that interests you, and this topic will likely be interesting to others. Find something related to sports or history, politics, religion. Whatever the topic, you can write an argument paper about it. So, after selecting an interesting topic, number 2, turn your topic into a question. This is a very important step because an argument paper has a research question, something you are considering, something you are arguing for. And so you want to introduce your and refine your topic into a question. So, for example, suppose the topic was capital punishment. You could choose a question like, should capital punishment be abolished in all states? Or does capital punishment detour crimes? Notice how these questions are refined, they're related to your topic, but now you have a nice research question to argue for or against. So step 3 is to do some research and then decide on a thesis. So once you've refined your topic into a question, do some research related to the question, and then decide which way you want to go on the question. Do you want to argue for or against this question? Pick reliable sources here to do some research. Look at both sides of the argument, so for and against. Weigh the arguments on both sides before selecting your thesis. And even if you are indeterminate about where you actually stand in regards to the question, select a tentative thesis that you can argue for. All right, step 4, choose the strongest arguments in support of your thesis. I usually advise picking at least 3 arguments that support your thesis, and then explain each one of these arguments, each one of these reasons or justifications in turn, and why they support your thesis in response to the question you've selected. All right, step 5, consider the strongest arguments against your thesis. This is a very important step in the argument process. You want to think of the best contrary reasons. You want to think of the best counter examples you can against your argument, and then you want to respond to these arguments. I generally recommend selecting at least 2 counter arguments and explaining what they are in the most charitable and best light possible. And then in step 6 here, you want to reply to these counter arguments. Why don't these arguments actually undermine your thesis? Despite the counter arguments, why does your argument still come out on top? Explain that in this step. And then finally, step 7 to writing a good argument paper is just to conclude. Summarize your argument here in the conclusion. All right, you did it. You're done. Go ahead, take a nap, play some golf. Just review the work that you have done. And if you followed these 7 steps, no doubt your argument paper will be outstanding. So just a brief review. You want to select a topic, turn your topic into a question, decide on a thesis, research here the best arguments that you can, and put those forward in defense of your thesis. Consider counter arguments, and then reply to those counter arguments, and then finally conclude. All right. I wish you the best luck in writing your argument paper. You now know how to do so.